Ladies and gentlemen, all right, listen up. Let me tell you something powerful, something real. See, a woman, a strong woman, she's like a game of chess. She's thinking 10 moves ahead while he's still figuring out the first one. She's got grace, she's got power, but most importantly, now let me tell you about 7 things a woman should never lay bare for a man, not because she's hiding, not because she's playing games, but because she understands the value of power. And power, my friend, is in what remains unsaid. A woman's past, that belongs to her. What she's been through, the men she's left behind, that's not his privilege to know. He's here now, and that's all that matters. If he respects you, he won't need a history book to understand your worth. Her next move? Oh, no, no, no. You don't tell a man where your queen is going before you play your piece. Let him watch, let him wonder, let him admire how you move in silence. Plans, goals, ambitions, those stay locked inside until they speak for themselves. And listen, a woman's finances, her money, that's her empire. It's not about being selfish. It's about being smart. If you've got wealth, let him earn the right to know. If you're building from the ground up, let him witness the results, not the struggle. Because believe me, not every man is built to handle a woman who can stand on her own 2 feet. Now, let's talk about emotions. A man, he's got to know you care, but he doesn't have to see every tear, every fear, every doubt. That's not deception, that's discipline. Because once he knows every single weakness, some will use it, and the wrong ones, oh, they'll turn it against you. Your standards, don't lay them all out on the table. If he's worth it, he'll figure it out. He'll rise, or he'll fall. But you don't lower your crown to fit him. Nah, he adjusts to fit you. And let's be real, his friends, you might not like them. Some of them, they might not even respect you. But wisdom says you keep that opinion close to your chest. Let a man figure his people out on his own. Your silence, that's your power move. Lastly, your exit plan. Yeah, I said it. Every queen has one, even when she hopes never to use it. Because strength is not just in love. It's in knowing that if the time ever comes, you can walk away with your dignity intact. So, to every woman out there, stand tall, walk with purpose, keep your power, keep your mystery, and remember, what he doesn't know is what keeps him chasing you. Keep your crown high, your moves sharp, and let the world wonder how you do it, because that, my friend, that is how a queen plays the game. Fear is a powerful force, one that shapes decisions, reactions, and even relationships. A woman's deepest fears are not just concerns about the world around her, but also battles within herself. They stem from past experiences, wounds that may have healed but left scars, and the uncertainties of the future. These fears are personal, complex, and in many cases difficult to articulate. They include the fear of abandonment, the fear of not being enough, the fear of failure, and even the fear of losing control over her own life. A woman who exposes these fears too easily risks being misunderstood or, worse, having them used against her. Not every person is capable of holding such vulnerability with care. Some will exploit it, others will dismiss it, and a few may even be intimidated by it. When a woman openly expresses her deepest fears to a man, she hands over a part of herself that may not always be valued or respected as it should be. Strength is often mistaken for a lack of fear, but real strength is knowing how to carry those fears without letting them define interactions. A man may not fully understand the weight a woman carries, whether it's the fear of not being loved in return, the fear of betrayal, or the fear of losing her independence. Some fears are too personal, too deeply embedded, to be shared with anyone who hasn't proven they can be trusted completely. Keeping certain fears private does not mean she is hiding her true self. It means she is protecting her spirit. She chooses carefully who she allows to see the unguarded parts of her soul, because trust is not given lightly. It is earned. The past is a collection of moments, lessons, and experiences that shape a person. But not every chapter needs to be read aloud. A woman's past relationships are a part of her story, but they do not define her present or future. Every relationship she has been in, every heartbreak she has endured, and every mistake she has learned from has contributed to the woman she is today. Yet, revealing too much about past relationships can shift the dynamic in ways that are not always beneficial. A man may say he wants to know everything, but in reality, too much information can create unnecessary comparisons, insecurities, or even judgments. Some men handle a woman's past with maturity, while others allow it to shape their perception of her in ways that are unfair. If a woman speaks of the love she once had, he may wonder if he will ever measure up. If she shares the pain she endured, he may question whether she carries unresolved wounds into the present. Some may even use her past against her, turning it into a weapon in moments of conflict. There is power in selective silence. A woman does not owe anyone a detailed account of her past loves, nor does she need to justify the paths she once walked. The focus should always be on the present and the foundation being built in the current relationship. The past is behind her for a reason, and what matters most is how she moves forward. Some stories are best left untold, not out of deception, but because the only version of herself that truly matters is the one standing in front of him now. Money carries weight in a relationship, shaping power dynamics, expectations, and even the level of respect given or received. A woman's financial status, whether she is wealthy, struggling, or somewhere in between, is not something that needs to be fully disclosed right away. Finances can influence how a man views her. Some may admire her success, while others may feel intimidated by it. If she is financially independent, certain men might see her as a challenge, a woman they need to compete with rather than support. Others may see an opportunity, treating her as a provider instead of a partner. If she is building her wealth, still working toward financial stability, revealing too much too soon can invite judgment or even unwanted pity. Some men will assume she needs saving, positioning themselves as the hero in her story rather than recognizing her ambition and resilience. A woman who is focused on securing her future does not need anyone assuming control over her finances, nor should she allow money to define her worth in a relationship. Money can be a test of character. A man's reaction to not knowing everything about her financial status reveals more about him than it does about her. Will he respect her independence, or will he try to take advantage of it? Will he still value her if she is not financially established yet, or will he lose interest? A woman should let a man show his intentions before giving him access to that part of her life. Whether she has more or less than he does should not dictate the strength of the connection. True partnership is built on trust, not numbers in a bank account, and financial power should never be surrendered without certainty of where the relationship truly stands. A woman's next move is her own, a step forward that belongs to her before it belongs to anyone else. Whether it is a career shift, a personal goal, or even a decision about the relationship, it should not always be announced before it is executed. Plans lose power when spoken too soon, especially to those who may not fully support or understand them. Not everyone will have the same vision, and not every man is ready to handle a woman with a strategy of her own. Revealing the next step too early can invite unnecessary opinions, doubts, or even sabotage. Some men, consciously or unconsciously, may try to discourage her, questioning whether she is making the right decision. Others might attempt to take credit for her moves, making it seem as if her progress is tied to their presence in her life. There are also those who fear a woman who thinks ahead. who plans beyond the present moment, because it means she cannot be easily controlled or influenced. Silence is a powerful tool. It allows a woman to move freely without interference, without explaining every detail of her ambitions. It forces those around her to witness her growth rather than be involved in every stage of it. A woman who keeps her next move private is a woman who understands the value of her own vision. Let the results speak louder than the process. Let success be the only announcement. Not every step needs an audience, and not every plan needs approval. By the time anyone realizes what she has done, she will already be standing exactly where she intended to be. Emotions are a powerful force, shaping the way a woman experiences the world. Yet not everyone deserves access to her deepest feelings. There are layers to her heart, places where her joys, fears, and vulnerabilities reside, and revealing them too soon or too freely can leave her exposed in ways she may later regret. Some emotions are meant to be shared with those who have earned the right to hold them, while others should remain hers alone, protected from those who may not truly understand or respect them. A woman who lays bare her deepest emotions too soon risks being misunderstood, judged, or even manipulated. Some men, whether intentionally or not, may take her honesty and use it against her in moments of weakness. If she shows how deeply she fears abandonment, he may test how far he can push before she breaks. If she expresses how much she values love, he may take advantage of that need without fully reciprocating. Love takes advantage. Love only works upon weakness and inferiority. Not every man is equipped to handle the depth of her emotions with care, and not everyone deserves to see every corner of her soul. Strength does not mean being unemotional, but it does mean knowing when to withhold. A woman can express love without revealing every hidden scar, can show affection without surrendering the most delicate parts of herself. There is a beauty in emotional restraint, in allowing someone to earn the right to see what lies beneath the surface. The deepest emotions, the ones that define her at her core, should be reserved for those who have proven their intentions, those who have shown they can hold her heart without breaking it. Some feelings are sacred, and a wise woman knows that not every emotion should be given away freely. Family is the foundation of a person's identity, a history woven together by love, struggle, and unspoken truths. Every family has its own stories, some beautiful, some painful, and some meant to remain within the walls of those who lived them. A woman carries the weight of her family's past, the lessons, the burdens, the sacrifices, but not all of it should be laid bare for the world to see. Some things are sacred, not because they are shameful, but because they do not belong to outsiders. Sharing too much too soon can expose vulnerabilities that are not hers alone to reveal. Family struggles, past mistakes, unresolved conflicts, these are pieces of a larger puzzle, and not everyone will see them with the care they deserve. Some men may listen with genuine understanding, while others may judge, assuming that her past defines her future. There are those who will take what she shares and twist it, using it against her in arguments or moments of control. Once certain truths are spoken, they can never be taken back. And not every man will handle them with the respect they deserve. A woman's loyalty to her family means protecting their legacy, both the triumphs and the wounds that have yet to heal. She chooses carefully what she shares and with whom, because trust is not just about her, it is about the people she loves. No one outside the family can ever fully understand the depth of what they have been through, and not everyone should be given the chance to judge. Some stories do not need to be told. Some secrets are meant to be kept, and some histories are meant to be carried with quiet dignity rather than exposed to the world. Weakness is not a flaw, but an undeniable part of being human. Everyone has them. Moments of doubt, fears that linger in the back of the mind, habits that are hard to break. A woman, no matter how strong, has her own set of struggles, but revealing them too openly can leave her exposed in ways she may not anticipate. Not every man is capable of handling her weaknesses with care, and some will use them as leverage, turning her vulnerabilities into tools of control. A woman who shares too much about where she struggles may find herself facing unintended consequences. If she admits that she has a fear of being alone, The wrong man may take advantage, making her feel as if he is her only option. If she expresses insecurity about her worth, he may subtly reinforce those doubts instead of helping her overcome them. Some men will listen with love and patience, but others will take her honesty as an invitation to manipulate rather than uplift. True power lies in knowing when to be open and when to guard certain aspects of the self. A woman can seek support without giving away the deepest parts of her struggles. She can work through her weaknesses privately, strengthening herself without making them a defining factor in her relationships. Strength is not about pretending to be unbreakable. It is about knowing who is worthy of seeing the cracks. A man should earn the right to witness her moments of uncertainty. And only those who have proven their loyalty, respect, and love should ever be trusted with the fragile pieces of her soul. Some weaknesses are meant to be overcome in silence, without an audience, until they are transformed into strengths that no one saw coming. Standards define a woman's worth, setting the boundaries for how she expects to be treated, what she will tolerate, and what she refuses to accept. They are not just a list of preferences, but a reflection of her self-respect, her values, and the experiences that have shaped her. A woman who knows her worth does not compromise on the things that truly matter, yet revealing her standards too openly can sometimes work against her. Not every man deserves a roadmap to what she desires, because some will use that knowledge to manipulate rather than rise to meet her expectations. When a woman lays out every standard she holds, some men may pretend to align with them, masking their true nature just long enough to gain her trust. Others may try to challenge her, making her feel as if she is asking for too much, pressuring her to lower her expectations. Some may even weaponize her standards against her, twisting them in a way that makes her question if she is being unreasonable. The right man will meet her standards without needing to be told every detail, proving his worth through his actions rather than just words. A woman's standards should be evident in the way she carries herself, in the way she responds to what does not align with her values. She does not need to explain why she refuses to settle, nor does she need to justify what she deserves. The right man will recognize her worth without needing a step-by-step guide, while the wrong one will be filtered out by the silent strength of her expectations. Some things are better observed than spoken, and a woman's standards should be reflected in her presence, long before she ever has to say a word. A woman's ultimate goals are the blueprint of her future, the dreams she envisions and the milestones she is determined to reach. They are deeply personal, shaped by her ambitions, experiences, and the legacy she wants to leave behind. Whether it is building a successful career, creating financial independence, finding deep and meaningful love, or leaving an impact on the world, these goals are hers to nurture and protect. Not everyone needs to know the full extent of her aspirations, and not every man deserves to be privy to the roadmap of her success. Sharing her ultimate goals too soon can invite unnecessary interference, doubt, or even subtle sabotage. Some men may not be able to handle a woman with a vision larger than what they expected. If her goals surpass his own, he may feel insecure, intimidated, or even attempt to discourage her from aiming so high. Others may pretend to support her dreams, only to later push her into compromising them for the sake of the relationship. There are also those who will see her ambition as a threat, mistaking her determination for competition rather than recognizing it as a strength. A woman with goals must be selective with whom she shares them, ensuring that the people around her truly uplift and encourage her journey. A man's role in her life should be that of a supporter, a partner who understands that her dreams do not exist to fit within his comfort zone. Some goals are meant to be kept private, silently pursued until they are achieved. The world does not need to know every step she plans to take, and neither does every man she meets. Her success will speak for itself when the time is right, and by then, only those who truly belong in her life will be standing beside her. A woman's sacrifices are woven into the fabric of her life, often unseen and unspoken. She gives, she endures, She lets go of things she once held close, all in the name of love, family, ambition, or personal growth. Sacrifice is not just about what she loses, it is about the choices she makes, deciding which battles to fight, which dreams to put on hold, and which paths to walk away from. Even when they meant everything to her. Not everyone understands the depth of what she has given up, and not every man needs to know the full extent of her sacrifices. Revealing too much about what she has endured can shift the power dynamics in a relationship. Some men may see her willingness to sacrifice as a weakness, believing they can take more from her without giving in return. Others may pity her instead of respecting her strength, mistaking her endurance for fragility rather than resilience. Some might even use her sacrifices against her, questioning why she gave so much in the past, or expecting her to do the same for them without reciprocation. There is wisdom in keeping certain sacrifices private. A woman does not need validation or recognition for everything she has given up. The right man will recognize her depth without needing a full recounting of the pain, the struggles, or the silent choices that shaped her. Some sacrifices are meant to be carried quietly, not because they are a source of shame, but because they are a testament to her strength. She does not need to explain what she has endured to be valued. The weight of her sacrifices is hers alone to bear, and she chooses carefully who, if anyone, she allows to share that burden with her. A woman's independent hustle is a reflection of her ambition, resilience, and determination to create a life on her own terms. It is the fire that drives her forward, the quiet work she puts in behind the scenes, and the sacrifices she makes to build something meaningful. Whether she is climbing the corporate ladder, running her own business, pursuing a passion, or securing financial independence, her hustle is her power. It is not just about success. It is about freedom, self-sufficiency, and proving to herself that she is capable of standing strong, with or without anyone's help. Not every man is ready for a woman who hustles. Some admire it from a distance, but feel insecure when faced with her drive. Others may pretend to support her, only to subtly discourage her when her success begins to outshine theirs. Some will see her ambition as intimidating rather than inspiring, questioning why she pushes so hard instead of settling into a more traditional role. A woman who openly shares every detail of her hustle may find herself explaining, justifying, or even defending her goals to those who do not truly understand them. The right people will respect her ambition without needing constant proof of her efforts. A wise woman moves in silence, allowing her results to speak louder than her words. She does not need to prove her worth to anyone, nor does she need to downplay her success to make a man feel more comfortable. Her hustle is hers alone. She owns it, protects it, and nurtures it without permission or approval. When the time is right, those who doubted her will see the results, but by then, she will have already built the life she envisioned, without waiting for anyone to catch up. A woman's spiritual battles are fought in silence, in the depths of her soul, where no one else can see. They are the struggles that test her faith, the moments of doubt that shake her foundation, and the internal conflicts that force her to question everything she once believed. These battles are not always visible, yet they shape her in ways that nothing else can. She wrestles with purpose, with pain, with the weight of her past and the uncertainty of her future. There are nights when she prays for answers that do not come immediately. Days when she moves forward, even when she feels lost inside. Not everyone is meant to understand the depth of her spiritual journey, and not every man deserves to be invited into that sacred space. Some may not comprehend the struggles she faces, dismissing them as emotions rather than spiritual awakenings. Others may attempt to impose their own beliefs onto her, pushing their perspectives instead of respecting her process. There are even those who may see her battles as weakness rather than strength, failing to recognize the depth of her resilience. A woman's spiritual growth is personal, something that unfolds in its own time. She does not have to explain every question she asks, every doubt she fights through, or every moment when she feels closest to or farthest from her faith. Her journey is hers to walk, Her relationship with the divine is hers to nurture, and her struggles are hers to conquer. The right people will respect her path without demanding explanations, and the wrong ones will never understand, no matter how much she shares. Some battles are meant to be fought alone, because the transformation they bring is something only she can truly experience. Insecurities are the quiet battles a woman fights within herself, the doubts that creep in even when she appears the strongest. They are shaped by past experiences, by words spoken in moments of weakness, by comparisons she never meant to make. No matter how confident she may seem to the world, there are always moments when she questions if she is enough, enough to be loved, enough to succeed, enough to stand firm in who she is, without bending to the expectations of others. Not every man deserves to know where her insecurities lie. Some may claim to offer comfort, only to later use her vulnerabilities against her. If she confesses her fears of not being beautiful enough, strong enough, or worthy enough, the wrong man may reinforce those doubts instead of easing them. Some may pretend to uplift her while subtly keeping her insecure, so she remains dependent on their validation. Others may see her insecurities as an inconvenience, something they do not want to deal with, rather than an opportunity to understand and support her. A woman must guard the delicate parts of herself until she knows who is truly worthy of seeing them. Growth happens in silence, in moments when she chooses to face her insecurities instead of feeding them. She learns to build her own confidence, to affirm herself without needing constant reassurance. A man who truly loves her will see past her doubts, not because she lays them bare for him, but because he recognizes her worth even when she struggles to. Her insecurities are not weaknesses. They are pieces of her humanity. But they are hers to work through, hers to understand, and hers to overcome without the wrong person ever knowing they existed. A woman observes everything, even when she says nothing. She notices the way his friends speak, how they move, the energy they bring into his life. She sees the ones who genuinely care for him, who want the best for him, and she also sees the ones who are only there for the fun, the convenience, or to pull him into bad decisions. But no matter how strong her feelings are about them, she knows that some thoughts are better left unspoken. Telling a man exactly how she feels about his friends can backfire in ways she may not expect. If she openly criticizes them, he may become defensive, feeling as though she is trying to control his relationships. He may not be ready to see what she sees, and forcing the truth on him too soon might push him away instead of bringing him closer. Some men place loyalty to their friends above all else, and even if she is right, he may choose to side with them rather than listen to her concerns. Instead of confronting him outright, a wise woman lets time reveal the truth. She watches how his friendships evolve, how they influence him, and whether they bring him closer to or farther from his best self. She sets boundaries when necessary, protecting her own peace without demanding he cut ties with people he is not yet ready to let go of. She knows that if he truly values their relationship, he will eventually see what she sees. Some friendships fade on their own, and some truths do not need to be spoken aloud. A woman does not have to voice every thought she has about his friends, because in time, his own experiences will tell him everything he needs to know. A woman's intelligence is one of her greatest assets, but not everyone deserves to see its full depth. Intelligence is not just about knowledge or education. It is about wisdom, intuition, and the ability to navigate life with awareness and strategy. A truly intelligent woman understands that revealing too much too soon can change the way people perceive and interact with her. Some men are drawn to a sharp mind, while others may feel intimidated, challenged, or even threatened by a woman who thinks quickly, sees through facades, and refuses to be easily deceived. A woman who exposes the full extent of her intelligence to the wrong man may find herself in a battle of egos rather than in a relationship built on mutual respect. Some men, instead of admiring her mind, will feel the need to compete, constantly trying to prove that they are smarter, more capable, or more in control. Others may attempt to downplay her intellect, subtly discouraging her from expressing her ideas or questioning her insights to make themselves feel superior. Then there are those who will try to manipulate her, unaware that she sees through every lie, every inconsistency, and every attempt to control her. An intelligent woman listens more than she speaks, observes more than she reacts, and chooses when and how to reveal her thoughts. She does not need to prove herself to anyone, nor does she need to put her intelligence on display for validation. The right man will recognize her mind without feeling threatened by it. He will embrace her intellect, challenge her in ways that inspire growth, and respect her ability to think independently. A woman's intelligence is a quiet power, best revealed in layers, to those who have earned the privilege of seeing just how deep it truly runs. Self-respect is the foundation of a woman's identity, the invisible line she draws between what she allows and what she refuses to tolerate. It is not just about how she carries herself, but about the quiet strength that guides her decisions, the inner voice that tells her when to walk away, and the standards she upholds even when no one is watching. A woman who knows her worth does not settle for less than she deserves, but she also understands that not everyone needs to know exactly where her limits lie. If a woman openly declares her self-respect limits too soon, the wrong man may see them as challenges rather than boundaries. Some will listen carefully not to honor them, but to figure out how far they can push before she breaks. Others may pretend to align with her values, only to gradually test the edges of her tolerance, seeing how much they can get away with before she stands her ground. A man who fears losing control may even try to convince her that her limits are unreasonable, making her question whether she is asking for too much when, in reality, she is simply protecting her peace. True power lies in quiet enforcement. A woman does not need to explain her limits. She simply needs to uphold them. She does not need to warn a man not to disrespect her. The moment he does, she will show him that she is not the kind of woman who stays where she is not valued. The right man will recognize her self-respect, not because she announces it, but because it is woven into the way she moves, speaks, and reacts. And those who cannot respect her boundaries will find themselves on the outside long before they realize they crossed the line. A woman's independence plan is her blueprint for freedom, security, and self-sufficiency. It is the silent work she puts in to ensure that she never has to rely on anyone who does not truly value her. Whether it is building her career, securing her finances, developing her skills, or creating a life where she is in control, her independence is something she cultivates with intention. She does not wait for someone to save her, provide for her, or give her permission to chase her goals. She moves with purpose, knowing that true strength comes from the ability to stand alone if necessary. Not everyone needs to know the full extent of her plans. Some men are not ready for a woman who is securing her own path. If she reveals too much too soon, the wrong man may feel threatened, seeing her independence as a challenge to his role rather than an asset to their partnership. Others may attempt to discourage her, subtly suggesting that she does not need to work so hard, or that she should prioritize their relationship over her personal growth. Some may even try to manipulate her into giving up parts of her plan, convincing her that dependence is a form of love rather than a limitation. A wise woman moves strategically. She builds in silence, letting her progress speak for itself. She does not seek approval, nor does she feel the need to prove anything to anyone. The right man will support her without feeling diminished by her drive. He will stand beside her, not in front of her, recognizing that a strong woman does not take away from his own strength. Her independence is not a rejection of love. It is a declaration that she chooses to be with someone, not because she has to, but because she wants to. A woman's endgame in a relationship is not something she carelessly reveals, nor is it something she rushes into defining for someone who has not yet proven himself worthy of knowing. It is the vision she holds for her future, the kind of love she desires, and the standard she refuses to lower. She knows what she wants, whether it is marriage, partnership, family, or simply a deep and meaningful connection that grows with time. But she also understands that revealing her long-term intentions too soon can shift the dynamics of a relationship in ways that are not always beneficial. If she openly states her endgame from the beginning, the wrong man may use that information to play the role she wants, rather than revealing his true intentions. He may act as if he shares her vision, not because he does, but because he knows it is what she wants to hear. Others may take it as pressure, assuming she is trying to fast-track the relationship into something more serious before the foundation has been built. Some men, upon realizing they do not align with her goals, may try to persuade her to lower her expectations, convincing her that she should settle for what they are willing to offer rather than what she truly desires. A wise woman lets time reveal a man's true intentions before she shares her own. She observes how he treats her, whether his actions align with his words, and whether he is genuinely capable of growing alongside her. The right man will meet her where she is, without needing a roadmap of her endgame to guide him. A woman's future is hers to protect, and she will only share her deepest desires with a man who has proven, through consistency and effort, that he is capable of being a part of it. A woman's true source of happiness is something deeply personal, something she discovers through experience, self-reflection, and growth. It is not found in fleeting moments or in the validation of others, but in the things that genuinely make her feel alive, fulfilled, and at peace. It may be in her passions, her purpose, her independence, or in the quiet moments of solitude where she feels most connected to herself. True happiness is not something she waits for someone else to give her. It is something she creates, something she nurtures, and something she protects. Not every man needs to know exactly what fuels her joy. Some may misunderstand it, believing that they alone should be the source of her happiness, and when they realize that she finds fulfillment beyond them, they may feel inadequate or even resentful. Others may attempt to manipulate it, using what she loves as a tool to control her, dangling it like a prize to be earned, rather than something she should naturally have. Some may even take her happiness for granted, assuming that as long as she smiles, she has no deeper needs or desires. A wise woman holds her happiness close, not because she is secretive, but because she understands that not everyone will honor it the way she does. She does not depend on anyone to sustain it, nor does she let anyone diminish it. The right man will recognize that her happiness is a part of her strength, not a weakness to be exploited. He will add to it without trying to own it, knowing that a truly happy woman is one who stands in her own light, not one waiting for someone else to shine it for her. A woman's exit strategy is not something she plans because she expects failure. It is something she keeps in place because she values herself too much to stay where she is not respected, loved, or valued. It is the quiet understanding that no matter how deeply she loves, she will never allow herself to be trapped in a situation that no longer serves her growth or well-being. Her exit strategy is not built on fear, but on wisdom, ensuring that she never becomes dependent on anyone to the point where leaving feels impossible. Not every man needs to know the details of her plan. Some may see it as a lack of commitment, mistaking her preparedness for doubt. Others may feel threatened by the idea that she is willing to walk away if necessary, as if love should mean blind devotion instead of mutual respect. Some men, upon realizing she has the power to leave, may try to weaken her independence, convincing her that she has no reason to prepare for an ending that may never come. But a wise woman knows that love should never require her to abandon herself. She builds her life in a way that ensures she is never at the mercy of someone else's choices. She maintains her financial independence, her emotional strength, and her personal goals, not because she does not believe in love, but because she believes in herself first. The right man will not fear her ability to leave, he will respect it. knowing that she stays because she chooses to, not because she has no other option. And if the day comes when she must walk away, she will do so with her dignity intact, knowing that she never lost herself in the process of loving someone else. A woman's power lies in what she chooses to reveal and what she guards within herself. Not every thought, plan, or vulnerability needs to be placed in the hands of another, especially one who has not proven himself worthy of that trust. Strength is not just in independence, but in discernment, knowing when to speak, when to listen, and when to walk away. A wise woman understands that her true value is not in how much she gives, but in how much she preserves for herself. The right man will recognize and respect her boundaries, while the wrong one will be frustrated by them. In the end, a woman who knows her worth will never fear losing someone, because she will never lose herself.